Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a bit hot in here. Good afternoon. Coolie Ranks here. Into your car sessions. It's a beautiful day. I'm just looking at the sun. Let me get you a look at the sun so you can see too. It's beautiful out here. Oh, well, you can't see it really well, but it's a beautiful day. And we are here inside the car sessions. I'm about to go retro on you guys. How you doing there? Who we got in the building? In the building today, man. Wagwan, everybody. I'm going retro right now, man. I was thinking about this. Actually, I thought about it over the weekend, and I thought about it again today. Well, good afternoon. Where the people them from? Woohoo! Hello there. What's up? I was thinking about this, man. Thank you very much for coming in today. Because we did this, the Supernova Saturdays, and we had a distinguished guest in there, right? So I was thinking about from whence the music came from to where it is now. Blessed Lupo, enough respect, man, enough respect. At some point, we're going to talk to people. Elevation, yes, Mike, elevation. Ladies and gentlemen, on the call-in, please, let me know which part of the world you're in. It's always beautiful to know that someone is in the world and where you are coming from. So we did this Supernova Saturdays, and we had someone in that basically was the foundation of music, you know what I'm saying? Genie Wagwan, enough respect, enough love, mwah, mwah. And it led me to think about when I first heard the music and stuff, and who I heard it from, and what was going on in the world at that time. It was pretty cool. I was living in Park Slope, and I had my own little apartment. Finally got my first apartment. I had an apartment before, but it wasn't mine per se. I inherited it. But when I finally did graduate to my own apartment, I was introduced to this music here by an ex. So I want to play that. And you know what? Things are a little bit different now. I got Wi-Fi outside here. Oh, it's about to be crazy out here. I got Wi-Fi so I can select any music. Holy crap. I think I do. I did have a little while ago. So I might have just been skimming off of somebody's Wi-Fi. Yep, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to not the first ska band, because the actual first ska band that I heard was Fishbone, which is crazy, right? But the first introduction to when I was actually in the music, because I heard Fishbone before, but I didn't know what that music was. And then I heard this one. I was being actually schooled on what ska was at the time. So this is the first band that I actually really heard. So let's shout out the selector in here. Pauline, big up yourself anywhere you're there. I know it says it's mad love. This is the first band. So check it out. I would rewind this shit. Let's get it going for a second here. Oh, Lord of mercy. I was going to enter inside of the car session, the sounds of the selector. Alongside Coolie Ranks. In other car sessions, happy Monday. Let's bounce. Here we go. Boom. And I got video here. One against sounds of the selectors inside the car sessions. You got Mr. Ranks here. Yes. No big up all the English massive in the building. Yes. Have mercy. Inside the car sessions, the selector, lead vocalist here. Pauline Black. Let's go. Nectar in the area. Yeah, man, they spawned a lot of female artists after that. Gwen came after that. Oh, shit, let me stop playing some of y'all. Y'all playing out here. There's so many ladies that came after this lady right here. She put out so many hits. Damn. Let's do it again. Play with me, Mr. Internet. Your boom boom clutch. Just in case you did that, I figured I'd go with another backup. Yep. Here we go. We're gonna go with the daddies. The originators. And I got this when I went to England from their manager at the time. I'm just busting the seal. Let's go. And today is Bob Marley's birthday, I believe. Is it Bob Marley's birthday? Something, so I'm not sure if it's his birthday or this, but there's something going on with Bob, so enough respect to Bob too. But here's the guys that backed him first. Inside the Scatolites.
Greetings and salutations from the Scatolites. We're going to bring in the music straight from Kingston, Jamaica, from the year 1960 to the year 1994. We want to show you where the music started. The music you're hearing today started right here with the brothers that you see right here. I'm talking about the ska. I'm talking about the rocksteady. And I'm talking about the reggae. As we shall prove to you as we go along how it all began. Right now it's time to go. Are you ready for the music? It's countdown time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freedom! Greetings and salutations from the Scatolites. We're going to bring in the music straight from Kingston, Jamaica, from the year 1960 to the year 1994. We want to show you where the music started. The music you're hearing today started right here with the brothers that you see right here. I'm talking about the ska. I'm talking about the rocksteady, and I'm talking about the reggae, as we shall prove to you as we go along how it all began. Right now it's time to go. Are you ready for the music?
That's it. That's it.
It's countdown time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freedom!
Inside the concept, we got the Scatolites. Harmonies. Original Scatolites, to me the original Scatolites. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, inside the sounds of the Scatterlights. So from there, we picked up and we went into England with ska. That's the original Jamaica ska. Then they went into England, and the beat and the sound was redefined by this band in this era. Had a special guest on there the other day, Linval, and he told us a little bit of the history, but I want to play one of their joints, another hot track. Specials in action. You see me, I say? Yeah? We're talking about England, Coventry. Big up all the Coventry youth them. Yes. Yes. Big up every special on the building past and you.
What am I doing here? Watching the girls go by, spending money on.
Now listen, you see here the bass line, they still had the bass line. The bass line kind of wavered when it came to America, but man, the boom. Anyway, we want the bass line, bring back the bass line. Here we go again. Specials, thing called the nightclub. Yes, we're gonna bring back the bass line in ska. Matt Wexton, I love your bass line. Keep the bass lines coming. Reggae Bob, keep the bass lines coming. Don't wave on the bass line, it's the ass. Boom! Inside the specials in the car session. Yes, run it. Let's go.
What am I doing here?
Cheers.
Watching the girls go by, spending money on.
Speaking of bassline, Nichols comes in. Ben Vasali.
Sleep all day.
Yes, line.
Only way I know. Parasite. I creep about at night. It's a scene place to be. What am I doing here? Watching the girls go by,
Spending money.
Hey, I don't work, 'cause I don't have to. I don't have to work. There's no what to do. I remember on the nightclub. I remember on the nightclub.
Also enter. Yep, moving fast, moving right along. It's inside of the sound of. Yep. They trying to shut me off again, but I refuse to go down without a fight. Bringing back the selector here. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Don't stop me. One again. Baseline again. Baseline again. They're giving me that signal real quick. Let me bring in a guest real quick. So sorry, Selector. I'm gonna bring you back, baby. Trust me. That was a Selector. Babes, if you're in the building, hit me up. Gonna try and get you inside here. Ladies and gentlemen, hold tight because I'm gonna have my friend come in here. Until she comes in, I'm gonna play one of her tunes. Cause this is Sporadic TV. Hold on. Let's try this one first.
I can mess up and stay busy like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the truth is I can't lie any longer.
Hold on. Now I chose this one here because this is one I got. I got two. Beebs, anytime you come through this door, come through. Let me play some of your joints. I'm gonna change and switch to me. I know I did that abruptly, but I'm seeing that flashing light on this Facebook thing, so I want to make sure I get something in here today. I don't play like that live. I actually blend, and there's also a proper format, but yeah. We're gonna play some
But the
jazz.
truth is I can't lie any longer. It hurts so bad to let you go, but I'ma stay strong.
Babes.
I'ma stay strong. My muscles weaken day by day, pushing thoughts of you away, pushing thoughts of you away. Sometimes I feel so.
Do I got you? I got you. I think I got you.
Say me, no one can. Play me, so they make me stay. If you were next to me, I could conquer the world. But you are so
Hold on, I gotta go get this piece for the Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Out of frame. I'm gonna spin your joints anyway, but I saw you for a moment.
Okay, sorry, Cooley.
For 2 minutes, I got back there.
Well, I had to I forgot I got a new phone and it didn't have the aux cable, so I had to go find that, whatever that thing's called, a dongle or whatever. I can hear you. I can hear you, but I can hear you. Your video's glitchy. Can you hear me, Cooley? Okay, now you're there.
I hear you.
Hi. Hi.
Hello?
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Uh, hold on.
No, I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hold on.
Can you hear me now?
I hear
Can
you
you
now.
hear me
Hold on,
now?
let me turn off this internet shit. I hear you perfect. I hear you perfect.
I took out the headphones. Sorry.
Okay, well,
Okay, well,
there's a delay.
there's a delay.
It's okay. We can handle
Okay.
it.
Okay.
It's the inner. Oh my god, it's so good to see you. We did it. Holy shit. We've only been trying to do this for like 8 weeks now.
I know, right? So, little background on this girl. Sorry, this young lady, this woman. I knew her when she was a girl, little girl. Now she's a grown-ass woman.
I was still grown when you met me. I was like,
No.
I don't want to give anything away. I keep my age. Everyone's like, how old are you? I said, timeless. Don't worry about it.
Timeless, there you go. You're doing a lot of things on the net. Every day, right?
Pretty much.
God damn.
Which is crazy because I always hated the internet. I was like, ugh, it's so weird. It's such a weird place. It made us all voyeurs and, you know, all of this voyeuristic society. And I haven't felt like people have been very real on the internet. You know, like we post all this great shit that's happening. We don't post our bad days. And I felt like the internet kind of bred a unhealthy society, you know, for a while. That was my point of view. And then when this started going down, I've kind of seen, or maybe I understand it more like younger kids do, or this shift really happened where, you know, I'm playing on the internet, which is definitely not the same as playing a live show by any means, but people are actually listening. And so I was thinking, like, at a live show, some people are there really to see the band. Some people are there because their friend told them to show up. Some people are there because they want to be seen there, but they're not really paying attention. Everyone's having their own conversations while you're playing, which is I don't focus on when I'm in the middle of a live show, but I'm aware of it. And I'm like, why the fuck are you here? I thought you paid money to see this show. You could go talk at home with each other or outside on the cigarette break or whatever. You know what I mean? So I feel like people are listening now more than ever because we're all in this situation. Everyone's really in a vulnerable space and learning how to be vulnerable, myself included. You know, I've been trying to make a good habit of going live when I feel like shit rather than trying to go live and talk about how I felt like shit earlier because I can, you know, really talk through it. It's like a free therapy for me. And then it also doubles as, you know, people understanding that that we're real human beings. I think as entertainers or as performers, sometimes people put you on a pedestal, which for me personally has always been intimidating. A lot of people get off on that, you know, like, oh yeah, everyone thinks I'm so great. Me, I'm like, this is too much pressure. It's like the same as like trying to learn a cover song. It's like everyone knows how it's supposed to go. It's too much pressure, you know, like.
That's why I don't do them shit.
I don't really do those too much. But I think it's an interesting time. I think it's a unique time for us to be more real with each other. I love that you've been going live playing music and educating people on music and different bands that they may have just missed or been going too hard and, you know, showing the deep cuts and giving love to different artists. I love what you're doing, and I think that's what we're supposed to be doing as artists right now is like not sharing political posts or this or that. There's literally so much propaganda on all sides coming from every perspective that people are scared and confused and angry and are super seeking the truth, and they keep trying to find the truth, and then it takes them down a deeper rabbit hole and then they get more confused and more scared. And so I think as artists, it's our job to just put undisputable factual content that's inspiring, whether that's music, gardening, painting, just things that aren't questionable. They're just facts and real life and what we're doing to get through this time. Because I think that's what people need to see. Otherwise, everyone's just going to keep going down rabbit holes and just keep getting more fucked up. You know what I mean? And to me, the situation is just like me having a debate with someone that believes in flat earth. I'm not going to, because that's fine if you believe in flat earth or whatever you believe, but the fact remains I still live here. It doesn't change anything, you know what I mean? Like, we can go down this arbitrary rabbit hole and argue about it, but what is it really changing? You know, it's not I still live on the planet, whether it's spherical or flat, it doesn't really matter, you know? So that's kind of how I view everything that's going on now. It's like, yeah, we can talk about where it really came from or whatever, what's really going on, what the underseating issue is, and we can focus on that, or we can look at this as a very unique opportunity to help be more connected to our own communities, to support our friends, to, you know, uplift one another while we're all going through this instead of chasing rabbit holes.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
that was the conclusion I came to the other day. And I was thinking too, like, touring's a hard life. You know that. Like, Norwood and I were talking about this the other day. I was like, touring's hard. We glamorize it, I think, because other people glamorize it. Like, because people, oh, you got a tour bus. It's like, ooh, you want to stay with 7 of your friends in a studio apartment for way too long and then hand someone 30 grand at the end of that. You know, it looks more glamorous than it is, you know? And you want to be away from your bed, and, you know, as a female, we got a whole other set of issues to deal with while we're on the road that are not comfortable. And don't get me wrong, I love traveling, I love playing music, I love meeting new people. But if that was more at my own convenience and not out of necessity, like right now I'm playing live stream shows from my backyard and not promoting the shows too much, just kind of going live, and it's being viewed by like 5,000 people every time, like all over the world, from Chile and Peru and UK, and I'm like, this is tight. Like, if I can just do this most of the year and then, you know, have select shows that I do or select tours, like, that's the world I want to live in. Because mentally, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, if we're talking about the mental things that artists go through, it's a mind fuck to like go out and people are like screaming your name and they're stoked and you're playing all these shows, and then you go back home and you probably really don't have as much money as everyone thinks you do, and then you got to figure out how to integrate into like reality for 2 weeks before you go back out, or spend a bunch of time with loved ones that missed you while you were gone, not giving yourself your own time to kind of like, I've just been around 7 people or however many people forever, and it's kind of a mental mindfuck. And I was even thinking deeper about it. Companies, you know, when you're an independent artist, you rely on sponsorships and stuff from companies, and the companies that are always quick, Cooley's like, what? Tell me how to do this.
Where they at?
This is how I've funded my entire career, is through sponsorship deals.
See, you came from a different side of this thing.
Right,
Well,
I
that
came
means
from
you was doing
music business
promotion.
before
Right.
I was in.
You know the business side of the other side of it.
Yeah.
So from a DIY guy like myself, it's just more.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's all
you
just
can
been
teach some
me.
classes.
It's just been me doing it too. I never
No,
had
but
a team
you
until the
know
last
this. You know this.
I don't know shit. I just look at life
You
as a
do.
social experiment, and I just try shit, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But if you don't try, then then the answer's always no. You know, like, then
Fair
the
enough.
answer's always going to be no. I've asked plenty of companies for money to support my music, and I've got plenty of no's, but I've also gotten a few yeses that really helped, you know, and you can't be discouraged by the no's. You have to.
Speaking of noise, that's the sirens. Right there. My beloved.
You can't be discouraged by the no's. You just have to keep trying. And, you know, all I did in music business to give myself any premise of music business was I started as a merch girl because I love the game of the hustle. Like, I love this band and I want to see how much merch I can sell for them at the end of the night, you know, and support them, you know. And so that was fun. I loved running merch. And then I went to promoting shows because I was on the road with bands, and I was seeing other opening bands or headlining bands that were not coming to Florida, because Florida's kind of a pain in the ass to tour into unless you have like 4 or 5 shows. It's just kind of out of your way and doesn't make sense. So I was like, I want to bring, it's not fair that I'm getting to experience these bands. I want my friends back home to experience them too. So I started partnering with other venues in town or in Florida to book these bands so that they had a run, and so that really at the end of the day, so my friends could experience what I was experiencing on the road. And then that turned into, you know, I taught myself Photoshop because the bands would never send me posters. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to teach myself Photoshop so I could make posters and promote the shows. And I would employ my different artist friends in my community, like, yo, can you draw me this dope thing so I can make a flyer or whatever. And then that turned into managing a couple bands, you know, and who were like, yo, you're killing it. Can you manage us? We need management. And I'm like, sure. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'll try. And then that was pretty good, you know, because I had seen growing up in the music industry, and tour managing bands and stuff, I had seen what works and what doesn't up to that point. So I was like, kind of had a little bit of guideline just based on what I saw of what was working and what wasn't. And so then, yeah, then I started Beebs promos, and really I just marketing and promoted everything, because the bands I was bringing to town, no one ever heard of. Like, no one had ever heard of Whole Wheat Bread. They're a band out of Jacksonville.
And they were good.
And they're
Yeah,
bomb,
they
you know,
were.
they're awesome. So I
Yeah,
became
yeah.
their booking agent and their tour manager, and I started bringing them to Melbourne, to my, you know, to Indy Atlantic and Satellite Beach, and started booking shows with them in that area. And the first show I did with them was sold out because I promoted the video and I told everyone around town about it, and I told them how badass they were, and I had dope flyers. And so eventually people just started coming to Beebs promo shows, not because they knew who the band was, but because they knew I was always going to deliver a dope show that they didn't know about. You know, they trusted my opinion that I was going to put on a dope show. So I really just named Beebs and Her Moneymakers because I was still bartending at the time too, and body piercing. You know me, I always got a million side hustles. And at the time, you know, I was wearing low cut things because that helps sell merch. You know what I mean? Like, not an idiot. And I was bartending, so I was like, you know, I never drank at work. You know, like I was real business with my shit. And so I went to all my patrons of the bar. I was like, yo, I'm making a band. What should I call this band? And Beebs and Her Moneymakers is what they settled on. But I chose to put my name Beebs in there because I was sending out text message blasts at the time. Like, hey, my band's playing tonight. And they're like, oh, your band, like Junkie Rush or Whole Wheat Bread? Like, they were thinking it was another band I worked for. And I kept having to explain, no, it's my own band. And so because Beebs promos was already built up and I knew Beebs was already built up, I was like, okay, I just put my name in the band name, and then people will know that it's my band and not some other band I work for, you know? And and it was a double entendre and super funny. So I was like, it just made sense. But it's not that I really ever knew anything more than anyone else. I just paid attention and I made mental notes myself, and everything I learned was out of necessity for the next step. You know, learning Photoshop or learning design work or learning how to market, having to learn the internet when that, you know, learning the, you know, Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. I just stayed open to it. Now I'm like, TikTok, I don't have time for that. Snapchat, I don't have time. There's too many things. Like, there's a lot of things I don't know about right now. You know, but I'm always learning, you know, and I think the best teachers are the ones that never stop learning. And I wore all those hats the whole time we toured on Warped Tour, the whole time we toured with Real Big Fish, all those years, it was just me. I had no team. I had nobody helping me except for my trumpet player, you know, help me with like accounting stuff because I suck at that. Like, I'm not a bookkeeper. And then, Love Lady, my guitar player, would make sure help with the equipment. We would do rehearsals at his house. So he, you know, each member played their role. But as far as like marketing, promotion, being the booking agent, being the manager, being the tour manager, that was all me, and it fucking sucked. You know, like I look back to those times and I don't even know that I was ever present for any of it because I was wearing so many hats, thinking of like 20 steps ahead of what had to be done, that I'm not sure that I really ever got to fully enjoy it. I was never really a front person in my own band. I was like all the things, and it was hard. But I look back and I'm like, yeah, I did that. I don't know how I did that,
did
but
that.
I fucking did that shit, you know? And
Get that shit.
when I'm down on myself now trying to navigate these new songs and building up this new music and doing all this stuff, I often have to sit down and remind myself that, well, look what you already did. Like, don't think you can't do it. You already did it with a team of 0 or just a team of a couple of your band members. Now I have a full team of like 5 people who are ready to go, who are all my friends from music business, you know, that have been my friends for years. And I'm like, don't think you can't do it because you've already done it with 0 team, you know? So, you know, it's, I don't have the answers. To me, life is a social experiment and you just gotta try shit. And if you feel like it's the right thing to do, then it probably is. And a lot of people will guide you or tell you, oh, this is how you do music business or this is how you do that. But most of those people are not artists. So they're not really coming from a pure place, you know, like, they're not that they don't mean to, they just don't have that perspective. They're business people or marketing people. So even when you're talking about splits for songs, for example, I just was in a situation where me and the dude I wrote the song with decided on the percentages. Okay, these are the percentages we're going to give to everyone and each other. And then I had someone from my team who's a music business person who taught music business, and she's incredible and been on my team from the beginning. She's always the one I call to, like, for advice or, like, you know. But she was like, no, I think you should have more percentage of the song because it's your song and your release. And so she was like, I think you need to take 5% more so you have majority of the song. And I called my friend and I was like, well, this is what the person on my team advised. And he goes, well, that's doesn't really make sense because that's kind of arbitrary. Like, what does 5% matter? We already agreed. I mean, he's like, I'll do it. But he goes, I don't think it matters that it's your track. You know, we decided to keep it even. And that's what I felt in my heart was the right thing to do. So even though someone on my team was like, this is the business way I would handle it, in my heart, I knew we needed to stick to our own agreement. When we talked it out and we're like, okay, I'm going to stick to my agreement rather than listen to a third party who has all the best intentions and is just looking out for me, you know what I mean? And saying all the right things, but this is what I know is right in my heart. And so, you know, it's just like any part of life. You have to take the advice you're getting and mix it in with your own critical thinking and your own intentions and how you feel rather than just taking what everyone says as fact. That's not how you're going to live your own life. That's how you're going to end up in a black hole of other people's decisions without your own critical thinking involved, you know? So, yeah, I think this is an important time of critical thinking, you know? It's okay. You don't have to have the answers. No one has the answers. Just try shit and give yourself permission to fail. Because when you fail, it's not bad. You're just growing and learning from it.
Yeah.
Like, failure is not a bad thing. Failure means we need to change, like, the vibe of failure. Because failing means you tried, you know? And when you fail, you learn what didn't work. So then you just try again. And hopefully the next time it's not a failure, but if it is, you grew some more and you learned something else. And you just keep going until you figure out the formula. Because nobody in the world knows shit. And there was a time when I was like, oh, one day I'm going to be around some record execs and they're going to have all the answers. And one day I found myself in that position on a fishing trip with Kevin Lyman, and it was like dudes from labels and booking agents, and they're all asking me what I think, and I'm like, what do you mean? I thought you had all the answers. And they're like, hell no, I don't have all the answers. And I was like, oh, so you guys invite me because I think outside the box and you want my my perspective. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, so it's fine, you know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Like, you just gotta work as a team, you know, and just share knowledge with each other and figure it out.
Yep. This is the sharing knowledge. Any artists out there, you can take some notice and some tips of what this young lady is saying. I like the change the vibe on failure.
Yeah, failure is a good thing. Because not failing means you didn't try anything. You just sat there, you know? Like, I want to have a string of failures under my belt because that means I have a string of growth, you know? Like, that's fine.
Yeah. Pick up your damn self.
Yeah.
That means thank you very much.
you've been there for me so many times. There's been times through my whole social experiment of a life where I've been questioning myself or not feeling I was good enough, or, I've always been very confident in my music business side of things because I understand the formula, just try. But as an artist, I've always been surrounded by the most incredible jazz musicians and artists and amazing people that I really admire in music, and I've never felt, I haven't always felt as confident when it comes to being a musician. And there's been times when I was like, not feeling myself, and I've called you crying like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And you're like, yeah, you do, Beebs, you're killing it, don't worry about it.
Yep.
And
I remember when you first told me that you were singing, and some executive told you you're too old to do this and you should be doing this and that and the other. I had never heard you sing. But I said, fuck them. Who the fuck are they? And they don't know shit. You go ahead and sing. There's no age on singing. So go ahead and do your shit.
yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, his big name.
yeah.
Fuck him. We won't call his name, but fuck him. Yeah.
Yeah, don't listen. My friend Stacy D reminds me of that all the time. She's in a band called Bad Cop, Bad Cop. She's been in the industry and had multiple bands for like over the course of 20 years. She's 42 right now, and her band is just now blowing up. They're on Fat Records, on NoFX's label, and she's like, Beebs, I'm 42, and my career that's happening right now is because of all the work I put in and relationships I've had over the last 20 years. It couldn't even be like it is now without all that time and without me building those relationships. Sharon Jones is another great example. Charles Bradley, you know what I mean? Morgan Freeman, you know what I mean? I think about this too, like when I'm watching TV or commercials or movies, I'm like, they needed old people for this. They needed people of all sizes for this. They needed people of all colors at all ages and all sizes for this. Like, there's no shelf life on anyone's dreams or hopes because it takes all of us at different times in our lives to depict and inspire those people, So it's okay.
Yeah. Truth. Girl, before they kick me off, thank you.
Cooley, I love you so much, and I'm so glad that we finally figured this out. I want to at least try to go live with you like once every couple weeks. I felt like I talked a lot, and I didn't give you a chance. I drank coffee. So
I don't need to talk.
But I
want to thank Facebook for not cutting me off.
Yeah, I adore you. You're one of my best friends in the whole world. Please send all your love to Mark and your beautiful wife and your family, and
I will.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Same to you. Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm gonna call it a day on the car sessions. I said I'm gonna shout out some of my people. Amari, yes, big up yourself. Yeah, who else we got in here? Boom, 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 boom. John, you done know. Kujo. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm gonna continue. Oh gosh, I went way over, but I'll be back on Wednesday, 2:30. Thank you so much, and have a good afternoon, and have a good day from wherever you are. Thank you. Peace. Thanks, B, for coming through. John, that was nice.